Right, hi Year 11. I've tried to record this video 4 times, so hopefully it works this time. It took us ages. Right, so to answer one of your questions, how does transpiration, how is it affected by humidity? So, hopefully this will make sense. Right, transpiration is water evaporating from the leaf, which goes through the xylem, which pulls water in through the root. So if we say there's a high concentration of water inside of the airspace here, there's lots of water inside of the plant, how would humidity affect how it evaporates? So if I kind of separate this into a humid environment, so if it's humid, we'll say a high humidity, and we'll say like a low humidity. Where's the water here? So if there's high humidity, there's lots of water in the air. If there's a low humidity, there's not much water in the air. So when we're thinking about diffusion, it's high concentration, low concentration. So if there's a high concentration here, we can maybe say there's like a medium concentration of water in the air when it's humid. We could say there's a low concentration when it's not humid, right? So is water going to evaporate more when it's humid or when it's not humid? It's going to evaporate more when it's not humid because there's a bigger concentration gradient. So the things that speed up transpiration, a higher temperature would speed up transpiration, a higher light intensity would speed up transpiration because the stomata are open more, a higher humidity would slow down transpiration rates. Why? Because there's less of a concentration gradient, so water doesn't diffuse out of the leaf as much. So if it's more humid, the plant's not going to be able to take up as much water through the roots because of this fact. So I hope that makes sense. And just check your answers on that worksheet and make sure you've got that idea right. Right, this lesson we're going to learn about plant hormones. Phototropism is the first of many key words. You will know this topic now. There's tons and tons of key words that we need to understand. So I hope you understand that photo means light. So for example, photosynthesis, photo, light, synthesis, making things. So plants make food using sunlight. Phototropism, this just means like grow towards. So I'm sure you'll understand that plants grow towards the light, the roots grow downwards towards gravity. So phototropism is the fact that the shoots of plants grow towards light, and we're going to explain how that works. Right, one more thing for your notes. So this lesson, plant hormones, I hope you're making a few notes before you try the questions. Plant hormones are called auxins. And these hormones, this is a bit weird, but they speed up the growth of a plant in a shoot. So they make shoots grow faster, but if auxins act in a root, they make it go slower. And we're going to see this throughout the lesson, that auxins make the shoots grow more and they make the roots grow less. And this affects which direction the plant moves in. Right, so phototropism, how does it work? Right, so auxins are made in the tip of the plant. That's the first thing we need to know. So right in the tip of the shoot. And they move downwards, so they diffuse down the plant. And if there's the same amount on both sides, what effect do auxins have in the shoot? Well, they make it grow faster. So both sides here are going to grow at the same speed. So the plant will carry on growing towards the light. So no problem. This is phototropism at work, but phototropism, it's more about bending towards the light. So a more complicated way of looking at this is, imagine if light, like plants are growing on a window, hopefully you'll know that plants will grow towards the window. So why is that happening? So if light goes in on one side, so the first thing here is, so light is on one side of a plant, what happens is the auxins move away from light, and that's a key point. Auxins move away from light. So in the shoots and in the roots, if there's a lighter side and a darker side, the auxins will move to the darker side of the plant. This is a shoot. What do auxins do in a shoot? They speed up the growth. So auxins make the shaded side grow faster, so number 4, what happens is the plant, one side of it grows faster than the other, so it bends towards the light. So that might seem a bit simple, but there's key points here. So auxins make the shoots grow faster. If this happened in the roots, the auxins would go towards the shaded side, but they would slow the growth down there. So you need to know that auxins move away from light. Auxins move away from light. That's a key point. Auxins make shoots grow faster, and they make roots grow faster. So this is phototropism. So plants bend towards the light, and you need to understand them 4 points of how it happens. Right, this is how it looks in the textbook, so you can pause this if you want to have a look exactly at how this is set out in the Activate textbooks. But I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is gravitropism. So gravitropism is how gravity growing towards, so things grow towards gravity, or some things grow away from gravity. So hopefully you'll understand that the shoots grow towards gravity, the roots want to grow away from gravity, upwards. How does that work? The only thing that you really need to understand is this. So auxins go towards gravity. Auxins are pulled downwards. So here we've got root, and here we've got shoot. They're pulled downwards in both. So if there was auxins here, it's being pulled down, it's being pulled down. What do auxins do in the root? They make it grow slow. So this side is going to grow slow. This side's going to grow fast. So what happens is it bends towards and it goes down. So again, I would stop the video, and can you do like a 4-step thing of what's happening here? So auxins are pulled down by gravity. The lower side of the root has got more auxins. Its growth is going to be inhibited. The other side of the root is going to grow faster. So the root grows downwards towards gravity. What you can call this is positive gravitropism. It's going away, it's going towards in the positive direction of gravity. So gravity pulls downwards, it is also going downwards. In the shoot, what happens to auxins? Also pulled downwards. What effect do auxins have in the shoot? Well, they make it grow faster. So the bottom side of the shoot is going to grow. So that side's going to grow faster. And this is called negative gravitropism. So gravity pulls downwards. This is going against that force, and it's just the fact that auxins they slow down growth in the root and the speed up growth in the shoot. Right. Anything else we need to know? So I've kind of summarized this here. I would make sure this makes sense to you. Maybe just read 2 boxes and try and do this table yourself, like what's the opposite. So if you think about it, so shoots, light, like what happens here? So if that's a shoot and that's a root, you've got light on both sides. The auxin always moves across away from light. So the auxins up on both of them going to be in that side. What effect does that have? Well, it's going to make the shoot grow faster towards the light. it's going to make the root, this bit, grow slower than that bit, and that's going to bend away from the light. Gravitropism, if you've got a root, a shoot and a root, gravity, like it pulls, so it'd probably be better to do these like on the side. So if that's a shoot and that's a root, the auxin gets pulled down. What effect does it have in the shoot? It makes it speed up. What effect does it have in the root? It makes it slow down. And that is it. That is plant hormones. Tomorrow's lesson gets a little bit more difficult, but make sure you've done all the questions right. Get in touch. I've been really impressed with a few people who've asked very specific questions. Good luck. One more thing. How do we know this? Pause this thingy and like make sure this makes sense. I'll just explain a couple of things. So if you have the first thing is just if you have a shoot and it bends towards the light, no problem. What happens if you put like some tin foil on the top or something? It will not bend towards the light because the auxins are not going to move away from the light. So there's no bending, so we can prove that. Is it not just the cap that makes it not bend towards the light? No, because if you put a clear cap on, the light can get through and it does have an effect. So Charles Darwin did them experiments. We've since done other experiments. So the auxins are proved in the tip. How can we prove that? If you remove the tip, there's no phototropism. If you remove the tip and put it back on with a barrier, so something like a metal which doesn't let auxins diffuse through, there'll be no phototropism. If you do something that does let things pass through, let things diffuse through, so there's a chemical called agar, which is a jelly, which is a bit like the cytoplasm. What happens is the auxins can get through that, they can move away from the light, so it will bend towards the light and phototropism does happen. Try the questions. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.